Hi, this is TC Freeman with wingsofun.com. We're here at the Monroe Airshow, the Warriors and Warbirds fly-in event. I'm here with Col Raymond Steeley. He's with the WWII Airborne Demonstration Team. Colonel Steeley, tell us what you're doing here at the event.
We came here to participate in the air show, but our primary purpose for being here was to jump out of Tinkerbell, the C-46. That is the Warriors and Warbirds primary platform for us. And we've jumped from Tinkerbell before, but we were invited, by the Warrior and Warbirds to come out to this air show to jump from her, and we were really looking forward to the opportunity.
Well, we sure missed that, and we have to apologize. This is a real air show, so you'll hear some activity in the background, which is part of the coolness of the event. But anyway, I guess when I first saw you guys, you're dressed in World War II period uniforms and whatnot, and dressing everybody up in the parachutes. Are you guys reenactors?
I would not call ourselves reenactors, but we are living history, performers. We come out in our World War II uniforms, and depending upon the type of operation, that we're performing in, we'll wear what's called a 42 uniform or a 43 uniform. The C-46 was used in Operation Varsity, and the paratroopers that jumped out, wore the 1943 uniform, and that's what we've got on today. We also run a jump school that we run twice a year, once in January and once in July, and students come in from literally all over the world. We had this past year, we've had students in from Australia, Switzerland, Italy, France, Belgium, Netherlands, England, and then from literally every corner of the United States.
Wow, that sounds pretty exciting, and I know from our conversation you have a lot of folks that were former airborne and some civilians, so can I come to your school and if I don't know anything about jumping and get involved?
Absolutely. We have two types of training, Tier 1 and Tier 2. Tier 1 is for the basic student, whether he's prior service, military, or civilian, never having been in the military. He can go through our training. With the Tier 1 training, it takes you from the very beginning all the way to the very end, and when you actually perform the jumps all by yourself out of the aircraft. For our Tier 2 training, the Tier 2 personnel come in on a Sunday evening, and they train for 2 days, evaluated for one, and then they perform 2 jumps with us, and they become full members of our organization. Our intent behind our jump school, is not just to train people to do military-style parachuting, but it's also to recruit members in our organization so that we can all come together and enjoy the camaraderie that we have enjoyed while we were in the military together. But when we come to these air shows, it gives us the opportunity to perform for the public, interact with the public, and allow them to see what it is that we do.
Wow, that's a great distinction because, there's a lot of folks that do the kind of commercial parachuting where they go, and normally it's tandem and whatnot. So in this sense, you get to do, I guess, static line, which is more traditional from World War II in the military, but then also have a performance and camaraderie. You get to return back and meet a lot of the same people.
I'll tell you just a brief story. Our organization is housed in a World War II hangar. It is literally a World War II era hangar. Tinkerbell has a wingspan of 120 feet. Our C-47s have a wingspan of a little bit under 110 feet, and we can fit 3 C-47s in our hangar. And we have barracks on each side. We have mess halls. We have rigger shops. We have maintenance shops. And we have a medical office, and you name it, whatever you'd have seen in a tactical task force, of World War II, you would see in our organization. And if you were to walk into our organization while we were going on with our jump school, you would have thought you would have stepped back into 1944. Members of our organization refer to our team, our headquarters there in Frederick, kind of like Never Never Land, and everybody's familiar with Peter Pan. But, whenever you walk inside of our hangar and you see everybody, joking, carrying on, working together, and, people volunteering to come in to perform KP and, to nail up boards on the walls, to build barracks, and working on parachutes, restoring the aircraft, and it's just a great deal of camaraderie and working together, brotherhood and sisterhood, because we have several female members that are paratroopers as well. But we come together, we enjoy our time together, and to us it's Never Land, because it's the home of the Wild Boys, or we call ourselves the Wild Boys instead of the Lost Boys. But right. It's a place we go to so we never have to grow old. The Lost Boys, they came and they played pirates and Indians and stuff like that. Well, we come together and we dress up in these uniforms, and we just literally enjoy everything that we do together.
Wow, it's very, very nostalgic, because my grandfather was in World War II and hit the beaches of Normandy, and so I've always had a fond place in my heart for that history, and really commend you for helping the community stay connected with that. So now, what's your background?
38 years prior service. I was an enlisted soldier for 8 years, and then I took a commission as an officer. I was branched into the Special Forces and retired this past year after 30 years. I retired as a full bird colonel. It's just an absolute pleasure, to have the opportunity to come and work with men and women who are all volunteers and enjoy what they do. And to say one more thing, our organization is all about remembering and honoring and serving our veterans, especially our World War II veterans, because there's not a whole lot of them left.
Absolutely. Well, I've got a lot of what we used to call war stories from my grandfather. I mean that in the most honest sense of the word, and I've been meaning to write that information down. Now, all your training is done in Frederick, Oklahoma. This is where you said the Wild Boys, and there's some girls exist. You guys are very comprehensive. You sign up for the course, which I won't say what the cost is because it might change, and but it's a great value. It's either for folks with no experience, 9 days of training. You actually have a performance, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Once you reach the FAA requirement of 35 jumps, you can come to the air shows like we have here today to perform, and it gives us an opportunity to interact with the public, to tell them about what it is that we have done, but also what our past airborne veterans have done. And we tell them about our trips that we've taken over, to Europe, and the jumps that we've made into Europe, to recreate the history of our veterans, and to interact with the public in those countries as well, and then bring back the stories and share it as an education item, for our public here, especially young people. And that's one of the reasons we set the parachutes up out here, because young people will come by and they'll want to know what it is. Then you have the opportunity to tell them what it's like to be an airborne soldier.
Yeah, what I really like about what you guys are doing, and I'm trying to encompass that on what I'm doing here in an unrelated kind of event, but we're getting people actively involved. So I see you folks dressing the folks up in the parachutes and the gear, and just to really see what it's like, and that's really an awesome thing. So I'm sold. I'm ready to sign up and head on out to Oklahoma for this. How do we find out more information about this program?
Well, you can go to the website WWWI.WWII which stands for World War II Airborne Demonstration Team. Anyway, that's WWIIADT.org.
All right, and you can find all the contact info there, and when you get set up, they put you in a hotel, they give you, barracks. We're going authentic, aren't we?
Yes, we are. This is a World War II hangar, and this World War II hangar has barracks in it, and we go authentic as we possibly can. Granted, the beds are a little bit more comfortable.
That's right.
Because we actually have nice mattresses on our beds and everything. But if you step into the barracks and you look down the middle of it, it looks like the same barracks that was there in 1942.
Wow. So if you bring something in and they don't want you to have it, it's just like the military. You don't need it. So they're going to set you up 3 hots and a cot and get you trained. Now, the serious part of this, I think, and here goes a Huey going by, which I really love, but I think the serious thing I like is it's different than a recreational. It's the reenacting is a salute to the World War II and the nostalgia, but you're going to get over a week's long version of training that's so comprehensive. It's not just like go out for the day, do a tandem jump and all that. You're going to really learn what it's like to be in World War II and be a jumper.
And I can tell you, this is, whenever we put on our jump schools, it is not, I have to emphasize, it is not a fantasy camp. You go through training, very intense training, and you are evaluated after the training, and if you don't pass the training, you don't jump.
Wow. So, yeah, you got to cut the mustard. What about that last line you told me when we spoke about when the reenacting ends?
I always tell my folks that come into our organization that are reenactors that as you step out that door with that left foot, whenever you look down 1,500 feet and you step out, the reenacting ends and the reality begins.
Colonel Steeley, I really appreciate your time and salute you guys' efforts for keeping the World War II nostalgia and the effort and the training. It really gives people a connection. And I hope you have a great rest of the show. For wingsoffun.com, this is TC Freeman.